Hi guys, James at RampantLionReviews again for you today with another beer review. For this one we are going to go to Atsugi in Kanagawa Prefecture to the south of Tokyo, and this is home to quite a few little craft breweries actually, but these guys that we're going to have a look at today have a very good reputation. My first time trying one of their beers, so we're going to go to Sankt Gallen and we're having a look at their Shonan Gold today, which is a fruit beer at 5%. And it's an orange fruit beer, so if you've watched the channel before, you will know that I love Amarillo hops and that kind of orangey flavour that you get in beers in general, so I'm very much looking forward to trying this one. It was rated 78 overall on Rate Beer when I checked it out, but it was 94, 95 within the fruit beer style, so it should be a pretty interesting one. It came highly recommended once again from Koji at Liquor Store Asahiya here in Taishibashi, Maichi, Osaka, so make sure you check out their Facebook link in the description below. A really good little beer shop actually. But as is usual with my beer reviews then, I'll tell you a little bit about the brewery. If you do want to get straight to the tasting, just fast forward. All the usual links are in the description below. The brewery website, the link to my future reviews I'll do from Sankt Gallen. Very first time I'm trying one of their beers, like I said. There's all the usual social media. If you want to see more beer reviews, do subscribe to the channel. If you want to see my other Japanese beer reviews, go into the channel homepage and search Japan. The whole channel is based on geography, and if you want to see another Japanese beer review channel, make sure you check out Casey and Eric at Sotogami Akiha Beer. They've got a really nice setup over there. But anyway, to tell you a little bit about Sankt Gallen, so these guys are a very interesting brewery. So as I mentioned to you, Sankt Gallen are based in Atsugi in Kanagawa Prefecture to the south of Tokyo, and the company is owned by Nobuhisa Iwamoto. But his father Matsuo had actually gone to the US in 1989 where he discovered craft beer, and he also experimented a little bit with home brewing as well. But Matsuo wanted to be able to own a brew pub in Japan, but as some of you might know, prior to 1994 the tax laws on beer were such that only breweries producing more than 2 million litres per year were actually allowed to operate. But in 1992 Matsuo returned to the US and applied for a brewing license, and it was granted to him in 1993, and simultaneously Nobuhisa actually opened a brew pub in Roppongi in Tokyo, and he brewed non-alcoholic beer, which actually wasn't prohibited by these tax laws at the time. But the beer that Matsuo was making in the US was imported to Japan and served in this brew pub as well, and the main reason for doing this was that they wanted to be able to show people how beer was actually made and how the brewing process took place, and they also wanted to have the real deal American craft beers too. So it was quite an interesting setup and quite unique actually within Japan. But they closed the brew pub down in 1997 and they opened up their brewery in Atsugi, but in the early days the brewery really struggled, but Nobuhisa carried on, and in 2005 he was actually finally able to take on extra staff after a few years of quite strong growth. But he actually attributes much of the brewery's success recently to Miki Nakagawa, who is actually the marketing director, and she's pushed the brewery's bottle sales. Apparently the bottle sales of the beer from this brewery account for around 70% of their total sales. But the brewery are actually well known for their very interesting beer, which was called Unko no Kuro beer, and this was made using coffee beans that were extracted from elephant dung, and the label actually showed the whole process of the beer on the label, which was quite funny actually. You had the elephant taking a shit, then the coffee beans going into the beer and all the vats and things, and then finally the beer coming out for people to drink, and it was very popular, and I don't think they're going to do it again. But this is one of the most, that coffee that they used in that beer is one of the most expensive in the world. I think it was like $500 per kilogram or per pound or something like that, so a very expensive coffee. But this kind of experimentation is what means that Sankt Gallen are one of the most popular and probably one of the most experimental craft breweries in Japan. They've done things like a mint chocolate stout and stuff like that. So just to list the other beers you can get from these guys out of interest, there's the Golden Ale, the Amber Ale, the Brown Porter, the Pale Ale, the Yokohama XPA, Kokutosu Stout, the Vanilla Stout, the Shonan Gold, which is this guy here, the Orange Beer. They also have their Pineapple Ale, the Apple Cinnamon Ale, El Diablo Ale, which I think is something like a mead. It comes in a very cool big tall bottle, and there's the Valentine Chocolate and the Chocolate Orange Beer. So yeah, there's quite a few interesting things from these guys. If you get the chance to try some of the Sankt Gallen beers, I would recommend that you do, and Casey and Eric said that this brewery are pretty damn good too, so they know the Japanese beer market a bit better than me, so we should take their word for it, and I've heard very good things about the beers these guys are producing. So like I mentioned to you, this one is a 5% fruit beer. So we'll get it open, but I'll let you have a little look at the artwork first. I'm not sure if it's specifically oranges that are in this one. It may be yuzu, but it doesn't say yuzu on the bottle as far as I can see. But there you can see, that's a little map in the corner there of Kanagawa Prefecture, and it's showing you where Atsugi is actually on this one. You can see the nice orange one. It's quite a plain artwork, but it's quite effective. And here you can see, it says here, there's in the kanji, it's Shonan, and then this is Go-Ru-Do, so Shonan Gold. So yeah, but it looks very nice. There's the top label, plain bottle cap on this one. It's just a kind of slightly greeny colour. But yeah, without further ado then, let's get this guy open and we'll get on with the tasting here. It should be quite nice. So yeah, nice smoky opening on this guy. It says on the side, best before the 14th of August 2016, so it's well in date when I'm reviewing this one. I'm doing this one on the 7th of July for you, but the beer will appear on the channel a little bit later than that. But there you are. Looks really nice. It actually looks kind of like a pale ale or something like that. But yeah, poured exactly kind of how you would expect. Nice kind of clear colour on this one. If I put my fingers behind the glass, you can see there's a good bit of transparency there. There's a half finger of a frothy white head and quite a bit of carbonation in this one. A lot of big bubbles sticking towards the side of the glass and quite a few little ones going up towards the bottom of the head. So it looks really nice. Let's check out the aroma on this one. Oh yeah. So as you would expect from this beer, there's a lot of orange in it. You know, it's exactly what you expect. But you can smell there's some Amarillo hop in there. You can smell both the juicy character from the oranges that they've added to the brew, but you can also pick up the actual oily and hoppy things. So I do suspect there's probably some Amarillo in here. But it's a really nice and sweet orange. Very, very sharp on the orange. Maybe there's a little bit of tropical fruit mixed in there as well. You know, maybe a little bit of mango or maybe a little bit of peach or something like that. There is just a tiny, tiny little bit of tropical nose in this one. But it smells very, very nice. Underneath you can pick up a little bit of bready malt. There's maybe some kind of slightly biscuity, almost caramelly character in this one. But it smells really nice. There's a bit of grassy and floral hoppy character in there as well. But really, as you would expect when it's a fruit beer, the aroma is completely dominated by the oranges, and I have to admit, I love that. I love the smell of oranges. And I love orange juice and things like that. And I don't normally eat oranges, but I love orange juice, like proper orange juice and smoothies and things. But yeah, it smells very, very nice. So just take a little bit of time and enjoy the aroma of this one before you get stuck in. That's one of the best smelling fruit beers I've had actually. It does smell just like a proper kind of orange juice. But yeah, little interesting subtle notes, but mainly an orange aroma on this one. So let's get stuck into this one then. This is the Shonan Gold, or Shonan Gorudo as you would say in Japanese, from Sankt Gallen Brewery in Atsugi, Kanagawa Prefecture, near Tokyo. Kanpai. Now that is interesting. That's like no other beer I've ever actually reviewed on the channel for you before. It's got a really interesting flavour blend there. Yeah, it's only when you take it in on the first taste, it's very, very smooth. That's the first thing you're going to notice about this one. But yeah, there is an interesting thing going on there. You can detect there's a good bit of hoppy bitterness to this beer. I do think there's some Amarillo hop in here, just from the taste of it. I think there's a bit of Amarillo in there. You're getting some floral and grassy character around the edge of the palate there. You can really pick that up, and as the beer progresses into the aftertaste, you can feel that just lingering there. There's maybe a teeny bit of earthy character at the back of the palate, but that's quite minimal. Really, it's a big kind of floral, slightly aromatic and grassy character that's around the palate. In the front corners it's a bit more floral, but around the very front curve of the tongue it's a bit more grassy in character. But at the same time you can feel that wet part of the palate that comes in when you add fruit to the beer. That's always the way that you can distinguish these fruit beers. The flavours that come from the fruit that's added to the brew are always a bit wetter in the mouthfeel, but the hoppy things are always the ones that are big and dry and bitter. This has a good balance between both of those. And just behind the front curve of the palate you can pick up those oily kind of orangey flavours that I suspect are coming from Amarillo hops. It didn't say on the website what hops that we used in this one, but I do suspect there's Amarillo hop in here. You can feel the juicier aspects of the orange additions that they've made to this beer. But yeah, that's really nice. I do wonder if there is some yuzu in here as well, but I think the Japanese consider yuzu to be very different from a kind of normal orange, if you like. But there is an interesting aspect to the orange here. It tastes a little bit different from orange that I've had before. It's almost like it's a little bit more sort of zesty, if you like. It's a little bit more kind of sharp, a little bit more kind of citronous or citrus or something like that. And that's what makes me wonder if there's yuzu in there. But I mean, the main point is that it's a very, very nice beer. The middle of the palate, you've got a smooth kind of malt base there. It's quite bready, almost like pale malty character, but you can feel that right across the middle of the tongue. There is an element of kind of cereal flavour in there too. A little bit of that biscuity, almost caramelly character coming out of this one. But it's very, very nice. You know, the flavours blend together really quite well actually. It has a very nice balance. It's nice and light. It's very drinkable, you know. It has a good balance between being a sort of proper fruit beer, if you like, and a little bit of a sort of IPA or pale ale or something like that. It finds a good mix in between the two things here. So I think it's really nicely done. I can see why it has the high rating within the fruit beer category that it's got on Rate Beer. It certainly deserves that. But yeah, as the flavour progresses, your mouth kind of gradually tunes to the orangey flavours, and it starts to become a little bit more juicy rather than hoppy and oily, I think. But overall, it's a very, very good beer. That's one of the best fruit beers I've had actually. It could well be the best one that I've reviewed on the channel, but I need to review more of this particular style of beer because it's something that I haven't touched upon all that often with the channel. But on the basis of this beer, I certainly want to try some more of the other beers from Sankt Gallen. This is very, very good, and you can see why they're kind of the guy obviously has learned the American techniques and things like that, and it's turned out very, very well. In terms of the mouthfeel of this beer, I would say it's definitely a nice kind of mid-bodied beer for me. It's got a very kind of smooth, almost slightly creamy mouthfeel to it. The carbonation is extremely, extremely smooth on this one. There's a good balance between the hoppy bitterness and also some nice juicy fruity characters in there. It's nice. The malt base is very smooth as well. So overall, it's a very drinkable and really quite sessionable beer actually. I would recommend that you have a go at this one. Very, very nicely done. So yeah, and been really cool to do another Japanese beer review for you, especially from another brewery who have quite a reputation behind them. I'll definitely try and return and do more beers from Sankt Gallen in the fairly near future. Always really cool to review beers from new breweries, so I hope you've enjoyed this one. Until the next time, please like, subscribe, share, all the usual YouTube stuff. Do check out all my social media things. Let me know your favourite beers from Sankt Gallen as well, and let me know in the comment section below your own thoughts on this particular beer too. This has been really cool. Once again, another really good recommendation from Koji at Liquor Store Asahiya. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this beer review. Until the next time, Slanja just now, there's more Japanese beer reviews for you to come over the next few weeks. Cheers.